Hello, my name is David Pugsley, and today I'm going to tell you why the NCAA needs to change their shot clock for men's basketball from the current 35-second shot clock. Originally, the NCAA established their shot clock in 1985-86 season, and it was set at 45 seconds. And they followed the steps taken by the NBA to increase fan popularity with their game, which they started in 1954 because of low-scoring games. As a strategy, teams would hang on to the ball to try to prevent the best players from the other team from scoring, so they had extreme low cases of scoring. In one example, it was a final score of 19-18 with the teams combining for 4 points in the final quarter. During the 1993-94 season, the shot clock was actually changed from the 45 and it was dropped down to 35 seconds, which it is currently at. And one of the main factors behind getting this shot clock established in the NCAA was legendary St. John's coach Lou Carnesecca, who said that if a team couldn't get a shot up in 30 to 45 seconds, that they would not be able to get a shot up at any point, so that was a fair mark to set for teams to use. And just another fact for you, that is actually the longest shot clock in use other than some high school states, and some high school states actually use a shorter shot clock than the NCAA currently. The revenue created for March Madness. March Madness is the most profitable sport for the NCAA every season, and in 2014 alone, they earned roughly $900 million from the tournament and its proceeds. But only the top 3% of the schools earn any of this profit, and it is the same teams year in and year out. And many believe this is due specifically because of the decreased attendance at games. Here's an example of the NCAA men's compared to other professional and college organizations throughout the country and internationally. Women's college basketball currently uses a 30-second shot clock. NBA and FIBA, which is the International Association for Basketball, they use a 24-second shot clock. And as I said before, high schools, depending on the state that you play in, it can vary between 30 and 35 seconds. So some high schools play with a shorter clock than college. According to KPI, as you see by this chart, this is the scoring points per game in the 5 weeks prior to Selection Sunday, which some would say is the most important point of the season. So people will be playing their hardest and trying to win games and get a good seed for the tournament, or for teams that are on the bubble to actually make the tournament. And as you can see, there's only 1 year where it actually goes above 70 points, and that was 2013, 2014. And other than that, it's consistently below 70 points per game. There are many coaches and players that believe that the shot clock should be changed, and one of those behind it is actually one of the women's coaches in the NCAA, Gino Auriemma, for the UConn basketball team, women's. He's won 10 NCAA titles and 20 conference titles, and Coach Auriemma states that, "I think the game is a joke. It really is. I don't coach it, I don't play it, so I don't understand all the ins and outs of it, but as a spectator, forget as a coach. As a spectator, watching it, it's a joke. There's only like 10 teams, out of 25 that actually play the kind of basketball you'd like to watch. Every coach will tell you that there's 90 million reasons for it." And other coaches, including Auriemma, point to the fact that current players seem to have lost a touch for mid-range jumpers and free throws as they try to play in a more showboat way and dunk the ball more often just to be noticed and picked up in the NBA and show off their athleticism, and they're actually losing fundamentals of the game. Another person who is behind the movement to lower in the shot clock for college is NBA owner of the Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban. He's quoted as saying, "It's uglier than ugly, and it's evidenced by the scoring going down. When the NBA went through that, we changed things." And Cuban's pointing to the fact that, as I said before, there was extremely low scoring games in the 40s and 50s where teams would strategize and keep the ball away from the best player on the other team to win the game. And like I said before, there was one extreme case where the final score was 19-18. And just to show you in comparison, in 2012, halfway through the season, compared to 4 years before the shot clock was put in 81-82, and there was a three-point line used in college basketball, teams were scoring in 81-82, 135.38 points per game combined, whereas in 2012 they're only scoring 135.74, so they aren't really scoring much more, even though they have the opportunity to make 3-point plays. So in conclusion, in order for college teams to generate a profit, they need to increase their fan base so that they can help earn money for their basketball programs. Many fans of the NBA, the reason they aren't a fan of college, they say, is because of the pace of play currently. As I said before, sometimes they just dribble around and waste time, it's seen as. And for example, Cuban again, Mark Cuban, the owner of the Mavericks, is quoted as saying, "It's horrible, it's ridiculous, it's worse than high school. You've got 20 to 25 seconds of passing on the perimeter, and then somebody goes and tries to make a play and do something stupid, and the scoring goes down." Another example to show how things have changed even though the shot clock's been implemented to 35 is that points per game and possessions per game are down to the lowest they've been since the shot clock was created in 84-85. And in summary, I feel that the NCAA needs to change the rule immediately so that they can help schools generate a profit for their basketball programs so that they can keep them, and also to increase the fan popularity, just as the NBA did when they instituted their 24-second shot clock in the 50s.